With Romney as the likely nominee, should voters bite the bullet and vote for Obama in 2012 in order to get real reform in 2016? I'm Alan Barton. Stand by for Front Page. Joining me in studio, Tim Cavanaugh, managing editor for Reason.com, and Terry Jones, associate editor for Investors Business Daily. All right, Tim, over there at Reason.com, Shikadamia recently wrote an article entitled 5 Reasons Why Conservatives Should Root for a Romney Defeat. Yowza. All right, let's pose the Romney shortcomings to the panel and see what they think. So the first issue here was Romney and ObamaCare. And Romney has sworn that he will repeal ObamaCare. Of course, he's got RomneyCare in his background. And the fear here is that while they may repeal the actual act, they will not put in place market-based reforms. They will not actually fix the underlying problems with health care. What do you think, Terry?
I think that's probably entirely true. But for me right now, it would be enough just to repeal Obamacare, because I think Obamacare is going to be a nightmare for the economy. It's going to hit small businesses with big taxes, and it's going to lead to a lot of confusion and bad coverage for people. And I think in general, look, it's a trade-off. I agree with the complaints about Romney that he's probably not going to go far enough, but just getting rid of Obamacare would be good for me.
I have a feeling you'll disagree. This is your guy.
Yeah, I am interested in the idea that Obamacare is going to get repealed under any circumstances. There's a lot of, and I recommend everybody read Shika's story. It's pretty terrific. It's available all over the pan-national cyber tubes. And you know, I don't see Obamacare necessarily getting repealed. Romney is not just the architect of or he didn't just pioneer the blueprint for Obamacare in Massachusetts. Pioneered the individual mandate. One of the posits in that story, one of the givens, is that the Supreme Court is going to overturn the individual mandate. We don't have a guarantee of that right now. And I don't see anything.
But even if let's say they don't overturn it, Romney has basically said pretty clearly, like, he believes the states are the laboratory where you can do these experiments, and he dances around this particular experiment, but he's pretty strong and always has been on, like, that's for the states to decide what they want to do in their states. I thought that was a good solution for Massachusetts. It shouldn't be applied nationwide. Why wouldn't you take him at his word on that? He's been pretty.
Because he said it.
You're saying you don't trust a politician to come through on
I don't trust Mitt Romney to say, I don't trust anything that Mitt Romney says. But I hope in this case we can take him at his word. If so, it will be good that he got elected. But you know, in a way, if you talk about the message that you're sending with the president you're sending up there, and it's sort of weird when you have two choices for your message and they're the same message. But in this case, I don't see why anybody deserves to defeat Obama on that. I can't think of anybody who deserves to defeat Obama on that point less than Mitt Romney. Not a single person in this country.
All right, another consideration. Romney is a flip-flopper, and who checks where the political winds are blowing, and really instead of standing on principle. That's been the big argument there. And because the GOP has a lot of turf battles going on, sort of intellectual turf battles inside the party, he's the last person we need in terms of trying to find intellectual cohesion within the GOP to mount a proper defense of individuality, freedom, capitalism, et cetera. What are your thoughts, Terry?
Yeah, he's not a leading conservative theorist by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't believe, you know, and I'll speak on Tim Cavanaugh's behalf, I don't believe he has an awful lot of libertarian impulses either. I mean, I think he does believe that government is a force for good. That said, and he's flip-flopped. I mean, let's face it, he's flip-flopped all over the place. He flip-flopped on abortion, you know, in his career. He's flip-flopped on his own ideological orientation. One year he says he's a progressive, another year he says he's a conservative. So he's going to have to be watched like a hawk. But that said, you know, I can't say that this latest incarnation of Romney is the real one. But if this Romney remains consistent, then I think he will be a not bad president.
Tim, you know, the premise here, the idea that we'll get to 2016, Obama will have wreaked whatever damage he's going to do in his second term, where he has more flexibility, Vlad. who's to say that we're going to have a more intellectually rigorous candidate to run in 2016?
Nobody.
And by that time, certain goodies will have been handed out to the populace that they may not want to give up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You could have the most intellectually, the standard bearer, and
Right.
they may not be able to. Isn't that a dangerous?
I'm gonna split with a little bit of Shika's argument here, and people again are welcome to take it up. We're all over the Twitters and the Facebooks, and you can actually get in contact with Shika Dalmia directly to talk about this. She used the example of Paul Ryan. I have very little regard for Paul Ryan. I mean, if he's the best they can do in the terms of a budget cutter, then the Republican Party, it's easy to say here in California where you might want to entertain the idea that the Republican Party needs to dissolve at some level and become something else, as has happened to parties in the past, maybe not frequently enough, where there's a challenge that's enough that the party kind of, takes an entirely new course and the Whigs become the Republicans or something like that. It's true that some of the heavy hitters maybe sat out this race because they'd rather go with a clear-cut, no Democratic incumbent in 2016, and that's a reason to think that might be the best thing, rather than having Mitt Romney be your choice in 2016. I mean, he was my choice in 2008, and not many people wanted him. He's the choice again in 2012, and apparently about the same number of people want him. So I don't know why 2016 is going to be the charm.
Terry, one of the issues that Shika speaks about again is crony capitalism, the idea of getting government and business away from each other. But Romney, again, not a standard bearer in that argument. When he was head of Bain, he was glad to take subsidies from the government to help save certain industries that he was involved in. So he's not going to be the guy to try to get government out of business, despite what he says about it.
Yeah. Again, I'm not making an absolute case here for Mitt Romney. He is not. He was not my candidate at all. But that said, again, my strategy in this is a lesser of two evils strategy. I do not believe he is a crony capitalist in the sense that Obama is a bought and sold and paid for by the unions.
Yeah.
I think in Romney's case, he's pretty much he made his wealth in the rugged arena of financial market capitalism, and he played the game just like everybody else, gamed the system. So maybe you can make an argument that he would know better than others what the corrupting influence that might be.
Yeah. Well, it's a provocative article, provocative question for sure. It certainly will set people of Twitter like, sorry, the pun, going like, over it. Yeah, another 4 years of this to probably get to something better. I don't know. But good topic. All right, thank you, gentlemen. You can find more of Tim Cavanaugh's work by visiting reason.com and catch more of Terry Jones at news.investors.com. For Tim and Terry, I'm Alan Barton, and you've been watching Front Page.